Australian SAS selection, part 3. Let's go.
For the men who have survived the first 8 days of the SAS selection course, there is a brief respite. Time to heal their wounds and sleep, if only for a few blissful hours.
Now that is critical, taking care of your feet. They tell you about it over and over. Some guy just want to hit the sack. You got to elevate your feet, and you got to clean up the blisters, doctor them up. Because you're young stud here, you will heal a lot quicker. But if you don't doctor those blisters up, you're going to be miserable. Like the music.
As the pain levels rise, so do the withdrawals.
Looks like the Incredible Hulk there.
Despite the disappointing experience of his first interview, candidate 130 has remained positive, determined to prove himself.
Please, come in.
Oh, struggle to fit through with all this.
Yes, you Aussies are too fat. Come on.
In this scenario, he must demonstrate he can plan well, under pressure in a foreign land.
We need help from Australia to plan the way we fight. Can you do that?
That is not a problem.
Right.
Let's see if we can sort out this problem.
This is our village. This is where we are. This radio tower, the enemy have been using this radio tower to coordinate their attacks. We've got to destroy that radio tower tomorrow morning at dawn. I'm going to go and talk to my wife for 1 minute.
Yep.
When I come back, give me your plan.
No worries. No worries.
That's the first mistake guys make when they're new. No worries, right? I know this is a training with a indigenous friendly, but no worries always means I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
What do you got?
How's the wife? All right. What we're going to do tomorrow morning, we will attack this first. This will go, so they cannot get any radio transmissions out.
Yeah,
You suppress this position, then you move up. We meet you in the middle.
That has got to be the worst plan I've heard all day. You've got them firing from here to here. You've got no idea whether that can suppress that or not. You didn't ask me anything about enemy composition. There's only 2 enemy, maybe 3, at that radio tower. There are 50 men there, but you didn't ask that. Australia is no longer my friend. Australia can leave my country and you can leave this compound. Get out.
That wasn't much of a plan. Yeah, let's attack the radio tower. Well, no kidding. What's going on there? Like you said, how many people? What kind of weaponry they have? What are we going to do once we attack? Are we going to blow it up? Hopefully they just shortened his plan, because that was a no plan. What do you guys think?
Enough blood has been spilt without you making more get spilt. Get out.
Yes, I overlooked some critical factors. That could have gone a lot better.
Yeah, he overlooked all the factors. He just said, we're going to attack this radio tower. Well, no shit, Sherlock. What are we going to do? Have a plan, right? A strategy. What's going on there? Who's there? What's there? How are we going to attack it? Are we going to blow it up? Are we going to take it? Are we going to get intel? This guy didn't have a clue at all.
You ever heard of 130, the saying, a round peg doesn't fit into a square hole?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's what I'm looking at. But you know what? I'm concerned you're not even a round peg. For the life of me, I'm looking at a man that I would find very, very hard to see fit into an SAS patrol.
Ouch.
Are designed to provoke a reaction. They need to see your personality. Now, on one hand, I can focus on the negative, on how badly I did. On the other hand, I can be positive and go, you know what? They were testing me. They were testing me. Maybe they just want to see. Maybe I was targeted for a reason. Maybe I have potential, and I'll show them.
Right there is why this guy's going to fail. His arrogant, cavalier, know-it-all attitude. There's no way. You see him just sitting there. You know, he's got this plan. They're just testing him. They're just picking him out, right? Nobody else. They just want to pick him out because he's so damn good.
So given that candidate, what can you offer us?
I think I can prove myself through my actions, sir. I have the ability.
What do you have to offer us?
I can answer a question. This guy's like a walking billboard for saying nothing. His mouth's moving, but he's not saying anything.
Self-discipline and mindset, sir. Can never quit, no matter the odds.
There's 130 blokes out there with self-discipline and mindset. Candidate, you appear to me as being a bit of a facade.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't believe there's anything under the surface.
I'm hoping to prove you wrong, sir.
I hope you do too.
Those guys with that arrogant attitude, I don't care if they're the best shape and the biggest studs in PT, they never make it. Yeah, and those guys are just going to be a disaster because they know it all. In their mind, they've already done it. It's like the Dan Bilzerian video I did. You know, he's a SEAL, but not a SEAL. It's the same kind of guy.
It's day 9. The men now face the most gut-wrenching physical session yet. They head to the top of a steep track to where directing staff wait to begin the torture. Among them is candidate 42, who incredibly has returned to the course.
Yeah, good to go back out, back on the horse. So they put me straight back out in the field and I picked up where I left off.
Sounds like he was just being a whiner. He's not going to make it, clearly. But you guys think he'd be back? I did not. Put that in the comments what you thought. All right, look at this guy. Is that like a porno face or what? You know, that's what's the thing about being an instructor in these kind of courses. I've talked to buddies, especially drill instructors, right? The faces recruits can make, the things they can say are so dumb. This face is one of them.
Repetition.
What is that? Come on, brother. Failure.
Get off your knees. Keep up. Standing upright, held above the head. Gents, what's everybody else doing? They're jogging. Go.
The pain is ramped up again and again until finally the desired result is achieved.
So when you get guys that are kind of putting out, you're on this rope in this case, you end up having to tote the weight for them. So even though they're there, they're not doing anything. If anything, they're just more trouble than they're worth. Hopefully they quit. And these instructors know, they've seen it. And in the morning, it's even worse. So you roll out of bed, maybe you get chow, you're comfortable, and all of a sudden you're PTing like this. People are like, I don't know if I want to do this. Quitter.
Obviously, this just broke me, so it's gut wrenching, to be honest. Yeah, something that takes months and months to train for.
And the session continues until more do the same.
Right, mate, you got an injury?
It's my knee, sir. I've got to strengthen it. I can take a running step with my right foot, but not with my left.
A lot of guys go to these things and they've got a past injury. They've got an injury that's fine when they're running on their own, doing PT, prepping for this. Those things never seem to work out. If you're injured in advance, even if you healed up, if you don't go through this kind of thing, you're just not ready. You see a lot of this in these trainings where guys drop out and they say, well, my shoulder got better, but it's not anymore. It's almost a guaranteed failure. And you got to respect them for trying, but you don't want to waste the time of the instructor's staff or the members of the course.
I want to keep going. I didn't want to leave. There's just no strength in it.
The selection course needs to be hard. We need to know that we're going to get an individual that will be able to stand up to the rigours of combat. Failure is not an option. With these qualities, they're able to operate in the environment where special operations generally reside. That is, shrouded in friction, chaos, chance, uncertainty.
And the point of all this, the way I see it, is we're going to test you really hard before we invest any money in you, right? So let's get them all the physical stuff. And so once you're physically broken down, then your mind starts playing games on you because they're all qualified physically to get here and then never been broken down. Then all of a sudden it happens. Their body's giving out. They're tired. Their muscles are totally fatigued, so their joints are taking a pounding. Their mind's asking, can I really do this? And it's good. You want to get this out of the way as soon as possible so you don't invest more money in them or time.
The SAS candidates are now midway through the course and less than half the men remain. Tomorrow, candidates 42 and 81, along with 4 others, face the retesting in the 20-kilometre pack march. They must pass to stay on course. Only now, they've endured another 6 days of sleep deprivation and crushing physical punishment. For 81, it's about proving to the regiment that he is not a boy, but a man.
Don't think about it because it will psych yourself out, and when you think about stuff too much, you dwell on it, and then you get nervous, and then you doubt yourself. So it's better to just go in confident.
Right.
I reckon I've got it.
Beware your water, mate. Drink it all and
A friend told me actually,
everybody doubts themselves, but this young guy probably has never done anything like this. Most people haven't been pushed beyond their limits. So if you've been in sports, you've been in some terrible event where you're pushed beyond your limits, that does help. And that's what these guys are seeing here. They've always been successful, probably physically, average, smart. Then all of a sudden they encounter this where they're not physical studs, they're average maybe.
I don't know if it's true, but I want to believe it. It's like when you think you can't go more, that's your body using 30% of what it's capable of. So I want to believe it. I don't know if it's true, but I tell myself that.
For 42, it's about proving he's not too old to do the job.
I'll just keep saying to myself, come on, keep going, keep driving. Yeah, I don't want to have to leave here early and make excuses for why I didn't finish or anything like that. And that's my strategy,
As you cross over the finish line, ensure you listen out for your time and then go and get it recorded. Ready?
There is something you hear about this mindset crap, right? Never give up. But people talk a big game, but what is never giving up? It's just the monotony of failure and keeping going, and you're not saying, this is all I've got. And these type of things, a lot of guys just realize this isn't what I want to do with the rest of my 4 years in the military or whatever it is. And then some people just aren't capable. Maybe they are injured. Truly, they're hurt, injured, and they're not physically capable of doing it. And that's a big thing. You can't control some injuries. If you go into this thing top shelf physically, you also got to make sure that you're flexible because of all the bumps and bruises, and some people just break.
Go.
So we got turkey. Now, the hardest part for me in these type of marches is going to be carrying that rifle. Now, they don't have a rifle. They've got a simulator rifle, which is hard enough. So there's no sling on it, which makes it a pain in the ass. It's not easy because the pack's heavy enough. The rifle, you got to adjust. Your shoulder gets tired. Maybe only weighing 8 pounds loaded out. It's still heavy, and it's awkward, even with the sling on. So that makes for a real challenge, especially about mile 10 when you're fatigued. The rifle's bouncing against you. In this case, they're holding it. So that's going to be a bigger struggle than you think.
Just fucking keep going as fast as I can, man. That's all I can fucking do.
Here's a big mistake a lot of guys make. They try to hydrate the day of the activity while they're doing the activity. That's a mistake, number one, because they're not going to be hydrated. Number two, they're drinking water, then they got to keep filling up, wasting time. So pro tip, if you're going to hydrate, you need to hydrate the night before. You need to be drinking water. Make sure your electrolyte balance is as good as it can get to retain some water. Because if you're trying to hydrate while doing this, it's not going to work.
Now at the halfway point, candidate 81 knows his situation is dire, and getting home in 3 hours 15 will be all but impossible.
Don't quit. It's better to finish it and not pass and not finish it just because you think you're going to quit. You can't do that all the time. Of course, finishing's better than nothing.
I haven't seen one of these guys look at their watch. You got to pace yourself. 3 hours and 15 minutes. You've done it once and you failed. You got to pace yourself so you know, at a minimum, I better pick it up. So you figure out in your head what you need to do for X amount of kilometers. And if you're falling behind, you just better pick it up because there's no magic bullet here.
I'm inside the halfway time, but it's got to be fucking the second half. That's the big bit, It's the home trip. And then fatigue's starting to kick in, so just got to kind of keep the momentum up,
3 hours, 6 minutes.
It's good, man. It's really good. It's really important. Bit the difference between me going home early and being allowed to stay at the end, So yeah, it's the most important thing so far.
Now, physically, he didn't get better in a week, right? It's been a week. They're halfway through training, so physically he didn't. Mentally, I don't know. Maybe he had a strategy, right? So he looked at his watch and said, I'm falling behind. I have to go faster. This is not hard stuff. If you're physically there, you're going to have a plan because the plan can help you when you're tired. In other words, I'm going to follow these steps. I got to hit this marker. Halfway point, I better be hitting this marker. If not, I need to pay. I'm going to pay. I'm going to tell myself that mentally so you can just keep keeping the pace right. Good night.
Having failed the march twice, it is all over for 81.
Pack up all your gear. You should be out of here today. Alright. Somebody come down and pick you up.
Having the physical fitness and mental resolve to stay on course does not guarantee selection, nor does passing the required tests. Every result, every behavioural trait and foible is observed, recorded and entered into a database. Now the senior directing staff scrutinise the remaining candidates one more time, looking for any sign they are not right for the regiment.
42, obviously passed his 20 clicker. Why did he go from 358 to 306 on his 20 clicker?
He's definitely inconsistent.
Yeah, with that much of a gap in your first test and your last test, they're going to start asking, hey, was the guy hurt? You go, no. He just didn't put out the first time. And that's the thing about these type of trainings. If they like you, it helps. Doesn't mean you're going to make it, but surely is going to make their decision harder to get rid of you if you're on the cusp. And this guy's going to stand out. He was a 358er. Now he's sub 315. You can't really figure out why. Let's keep going.
Intense character. Which is what your comment was in that front sheet there, saying that flustered maybe, potentially.
Yeah,
definitely.
They are, to be honest, if I was going to remove anybody, it'd be this bloke and there's one other. I just don't think he's got it.
So he has been struggling on his physical training up until this morning's effort.
Do we persevere with him?
It is the end of phase 1 of the selection course.
Right, left, right,
The
left.
surviving candidates are assembled outside the embassy, where for some, it is Judgment Day.
Okay, I want the following people to leave their gear where it is and move over to my left-hand side.
Now, this is one of these things where your pucker factor is very high. Is the left good? Is it bad? I don't know. And maybe they get the scuttlebutt before they go, and they know left means you're out. Let's take a look.
Candidates 5, 6, 6, 4, 9, 9, 101, 116, 130. Okay, those 6 members move now. Everyone else remain where you are.
Now you know at this point, if the good guys are walking out, you know you're on your way out. So you know who the strong candidates are and the weak ones are. So if you're sitting there and one of these candidates gets pulled out, and he's an outstanding candidate, you know you're not going.
Okay, all the candidates' performance was reviewed this afternoon and it was decided that you would be removed from the course. I'll leave it at that, but the SI will speak to you all in more detail, collect your e-bags from inside, consolidate your gear, and we'll have a vehicle here in about 2 minutes. Any questions? Okay, all the best from here with your future careers, fellas.
After 10 days of pushing their minds and bodies to the limit, in the quest to just be considered for the SAS, these 6 men have been pulled from the course. For them, the dream is over.
You figure most of these guys have never failed at much, especially physical things. They're already top shelf physically. Mentally, they've probably been fine. They got here and thought, this is going to be no problem. It'll push my limits. And some of them are probably good guys. It's just not for them.
I've been removed for not meeting performance standards. I honestly didn't expect it. Left a little shaky by the experience. I'm pretty shattered. I really wanted this. I want to fit in, and I thought I was good at it, but they seem to have picked up that I could never fit in, and I think that's where the problems come from.
So I would guess with this guy, he probably met the PT, time standards, all that. It's probably just his attitude. If you look back at the prior clips of him, he's arrogant, cocky, he's a know-it-all. He gives you these whitewashed answers. They ask a very specific question, and he gives some fluffy answer.
And you'll go home. You won't be able to explain this to anyone else. You can't. Only the people you've shared it with will understand truly what you've been through. It's a remarkable achievement to survive in it. And I wish these men so well.
Service in the Special Air Service Regiment is not for everyone. Whilst people may have lofty dreams and ideals of serving in the unit, they'll quickly be found out those first 10 days. That then gives us the ability to focus on those individuals that we think have potential.
I think what he said there is often overlooked. it's not for everyone. There is no second place trophy to getting selected. We don't care if it hurts your feelings. We want a standard met. If you don't meet it, you can go home. It's very unfortunate in today's society, but that's reality. I'm glad they're sticking to the standard. I hope they are today. Put that in the comments. Has it changed? Has the standard dropped?
More of a detailed approach.
Less than 70 men remain. Amongst them is candidate 42, who's been given a reprieve. Now the business end of the course is about to begin.
If you guys want more of this, put part 4 in the comments. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. For my subscribers, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching.